All right. Top 5 point. Shit, that was last episode. Top five. top five.
A lot of blue.
Top 5 shooting guards heading into 2023. All right, top 5 shooting guards. We did point guards last episode. All right, had a lot of difference of opinions. The game is a game. Now we got shooting guards. Top 5 shooting guards. Who do you have at number 1? And James, and for the record, before we get started, James Harden is a part of this conversation.
Okay.
Okay. Well, I mean, if he wasn't considered him a point guard, I mean, he's not no center. So
I feel you. You go first. I mean, I think the obvious one should be probably Devin Booker. I think
sir.
Devin Booker has to be the best shooting guard in the league right now. I think from a talent standpoint and a skill standpoint, he's at least probably like, top 5 in that respective category. But overall, I just feel like what he's done the past 2 years of leading the Phoenix Suns and being their best player and leading them to, high seeding in the regular season and stuff like that. And even the NBA Finals where he dropped, 240-point back-to-back games. So, like, this brother is stamped. I think the only thing he's missing is basically a championship. I think he's him, really.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Book at number 1. For everything pretty much you just said. I think this, it's funny, Book could mess around and win Finals MVP. I know a lot of people, again, are a little sick to their stomach about what happened to Phoenix last year, but I mean, anytime you have a number 1 overall seed and you're running the same exact team back, give or take, I mean, it ain't crazy to think that the best player on a team that had a number 1 seed could mess around and win Finals MVP. So I'm going to say number 1 is Devin Booker. Wow, we agreed on number 1 for point guards as well. So that's good. We got it.
I mean, it makes sense. I mean, Devin Booker is the obvious choice. I think it's like, what else does he have to do? I hope he gets more love. We talk about starting at the NBA All-Star game and things like that. I think he should have been probably the starter over Ja Morant this past year. So hopefully, like, Devin Booker gets to like recognition he deserves in basically this upcoming year. I feel like this is a great year for him to show once again that the Phoenix Suns can be a top at least 3 seed in this upcoming year, and that he's still him and he's the best player on a potential championship caliber team. So,
yeah, all right. So definitely agree. I mean, now so fortunately for him, he does have a Finals appearance, right? Similar to Jason Tatum. Just the idea that, okay, obviously it's tough to win one, but at least you got there. Now the next step is, of course, winning it. So we're on the same team when it comes to Devin Booker, number 1. Number 2, shooting guard. So we got a lot of options. Second best shooting guard, I'm going to say, though, I'm going to go with Bradley Beal. I think a lot of people...
There we go.
I think a lot of people may have forgotten how extremely talented... And this was a tough one, I'll say. I know a lot of my rankings and stuff in the point guards was based off, winning and what they did this year. But I think Brad's is a little bit different because of, the rosters weren't really the same. But I'm going with Brad. I'm going with Bradley Beal at number 2. Still a bucket. Hopefully, look, he ain't going nowhere now, but hey, talent is talent. But wish he could win some more games and hopefully, pick up a chip. But talent-wise, damn sure at number 2.
We should have started this off by asking this before we started the list. What are we ranking? What are we considering Paul George?
That's tough. I would say small forward.
Okay, because we had him like last time. We was like,
right.
Sometimes we go like, but he's really truly a small forward.
And it sucks too because him playing with Kawhi, obviously he's going to play the 2. I think it's very similar to like Zach and DeMar. I think they're both 2s, but obviously someone got to play 3. So in this case, that's a very great question. I would consider PG a 3 and
DeMar.
DeMar's a 3 as well for this rankings, right?
Yeah, I mean DeMar's more than that. He's always been kind of like a 2-3-ish. So I mean,
well, yeah, but I mean,
3.
All right, so both of them, DeMar and Paul George, shout out to Cali, are both 3s. That makes our job a little bit easier. But yes, I saw Bradley Beal too.
Yeah, I mean, Bradley Beal is number 2 on my list as well. So it's crazy. We really agreeing for the first two. First time in a while. But yeah, Bradley Beal is him. I think Bradley Beal is just in a situation similar to Damian Lillard, but Dame has just had more like accolades and shine when we talk about like more overall respect in the league and his dominance. But let's be honest. Like, what's really the difference between Bradley Beal's career and Damian Lillard's career? Nothing much, but Dame has had more success in the playoffs and getting his team to the playoffs. But other than that, it's just kind of like with the rosters that Bradley Beal has had for long periods of time, like, it's not really his fault. Like, I love to talk about team situations, but Bradley Beal is complete 3-level scorer, can do everything, can pass, can score in a variety of ways. Also, he can defend when he has a solid team around him. Like, you can't ask guys to be responsible for carrying the load offensively and then go out and constantly defend at the highest level, especially when there's no really like great odds of winning anything at stake. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, what am I defending at a high level? And I got so much offensive responsibility just for us to damn near maybe not even win 40 games.
I was about to say,
a year.
Tiptoe on that playing tournament. You know what I'm saying? It's like, well,
maybe,
damn.
exactly.
That's what I'm saying. Tiptoe.
Just
to be a part of the conversation. Not just make it, get the 7th seed, and hopefully, but just tiptoe like, oh yeah, what is might, make it. But yeah, I got Brad in this situation as well. I think it sucks though, because again, as I think about it with the whole Trae Young thing. But I mean, even still, we've asked the question is like, can Jason Tatum be the number 1 option on a championship team? Can Donovan Mitchell be the number 1 option on a championship team? So, all right, so yeah, we got Devin Booker, Bradley Beal, 1 and 2. Number 3 is tough. Actually, no, it's not. I got Spider. What are we doing? I have Spider at number 3, the newest Cleveland Cavalier. Welcome to Cleveland.
Yeah.
More success on the way for Spider. Just recently celebrated a birthday. But yeah, I got Spider at 3. I almost, though, I low-key want to have Donovan at 2. But because it's like, I feel like Devin and Donovan should probably be right after one another. But Bradley also is like, okay, it's still Bradley, then Bill. So,
yeah.
So far I got Devin, Bradley, Bill, then Spider.
Okay. I mean, Spider is a great choice. I think people forget, like, people always talk about, like, can he be a number 1 on a championship caliber team? But it's just kind of like, he's done it for most of his career for, like, being on a great playoff team. So I'm not really mad at it. It's like, people always talk about, like, well, do you want him to be number 1 on a championship team? Like, we about to see with the Cleveland Cavaliers, because, like, for the first time in his career, he has actually guys that can put the ball in the hoop other than himself, on a consistently level, like being consistently doing it.
Yeah.
So I'm not really mad. Number 3, a little high I think a little too high, respectfully, because I feel like after one season does not, negate the fact that James Harden is still James Harden. I think
okay.
having James Harden having James Harden below top 3, I just can't do it. I know he was coming on a year where he didn't get to like train and stuff like that. He was still nursing an injury and stuff like that. But the playmaking, the scoring ability, I feel like the scoring ability is still there. I think we're going to see that with the Philadelphia Sixers. I feel like his playmaking ability is also extremely high when we just talk about guards, period. So I still have faith in James Harden. I think James Harden is going to have a redemption type of year, which is crazy to even think about when we talk about James Harden, because he's only had one really like bad year to say in his NBA career. And his bad year is some of guys' best years. We're just talking about averaging, 21, 22, and 10. So.
Yeah, that's the part that sucks about being a great player. It's like, even when you have the slightest drop-off, people will make it a bigger deal than what it is. But, at the same time, I gotta go off what I've seen recently.
That's fine.
I mean, like I said, it's still James Harden, so it's not a pick that I feel like, oh, shit, why the hell would you say? Now, there may be some fans that be like, what? In what world? Like, or there may be some people that feel like, all right, his time is behind him. I don't feel that way. But it's not a bad pick. Hopefully him and McBee get it together. But
it's just kind of like James Harden has also been like sacrificing as well. Like James, I'm sure pretty much James Harden, if he wanted to go and be on a team that just carried him to the playoffs, may not be a high seed, but he can still be the guy on a top 6 seed, probably top 6, 7 seed in the East or the West, I feel like, and carry the load and score a bunch of points and have a bunch of assists. But it's just like, that ain't really the James that we're used to custom seeing. Like prime peak James Harden was taking teams to deep runs in the playoffs. So it's just like, he probably can still average a lot of points and get a team to the playoffs and stuff like that if he wanted to. But this is a new version of James where we talk about like he's more mature. He is getting older. His first step is not what it used to be. But also it's just kind of like, he wants a ring. He wants to try to win a championship. That's what he's trying to do. It's not about the stats, not about the numbers, not about like, him solidifying his legacy. That part is already like established. It's now about like, can I get a ring? What role can I play to give me a ring? That's what it is right now with James Harden.
I was gonna say, well, that's the $1 million question. It's like, what exactly? Because I mean, again, people will knock on the whole "where is Houston James Harden," but we probably won't see Houston James Harden. I don't say ever again. That's a little dark, but like for real.
But you don't necessarily need it though.
That's the thing. Chip?
No, I don't think you need it. I don't think you need that version of Harden going out and get you 40 and 50. Once
That'd
a week.
That'd be nice. That'd be nice. What? I would love to see that.
I don't think you need it with the team that they have intact.
Well, that's just because the Embiid factor. But I mean, even still, I mean,
Embiid, Tyrese Maxey is here. Like Tyrese Maxey, it's a marathon now for James Harden. He's entering that territory. I feel like it's just like the regular season matters, but it's just kind of like you got guys on that team that can like carry that little load. Like Tyrese can carry the scoring load more so on a nightly basis in the regular season than James Harden, because like you want James Harden fresh and ready to go when it matters the most. Even Joel Embiid.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I mean, and it's, to me, it's not just about Houston James Harden from a standpoint of stats, right? Because it's impossible to average 40 or get 40 often when you're playing with another MVP candidate like Embiid. But to me, I think it's just more of the mentality. Like, I don't want to see the facilitating James Harden. Like, I don't want to see let's get the offense straight. Let's get everyone else in rhythm. To me, I don't think that's going to get it done. I think we're going to have to see the scoring first James Harden, and then again, outside of like him, sharing the responsibilities with Embiid, that's different. But other than that, put the ball in the hoop. That to me, that's what's going to get it done in order for them to win a chip. Now during the regular season, sure, everyone else, get their shots up, get their shine. But during the postseason, do you feel that way? Getting it back, James.
Do you feel that way because of this year with his injuries and stuff like that and not being fully healthy, and the way this past year played out with the Brooklyn Nets and the Philadelphia Sixers? Or do you just feel this way entirely? Because I will argue with some pushback on that point. It's just like when James Harden came to the Brooklyn Nets and we saw him with Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant, when they were fully healthy, he was playing that third option role, that facilitating role. People were talking about this brother should be a front runner for the MVP. So that's what I had to ask that question. Like, why do you feel that way?
Right, and I would hear you, but the thing is, think about the two names you just said, Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving. So if you're playing with those two guys, all right, facilitate. Right, I get it. You got two brothers that could go off whenever, wherever. But that's not the case with him right now in Philly. Now, even as great as Embiid is, we both know that when it comes to playoff times and clutch moments, ain't too many players in league history like Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving. So that's completely different. I think in order for him to really win that chip, he can't just be the third option or look to facilitate from that standpoint. He's going to have to say, all right, let's go. There may be some nights where he has to be the best player, even with the way Embiid has been playing. So he doesn't have the same luxury as he had before. Now, obviously, it didn't work out, but just from a straight up talent standpoint, I think if you have Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving on your team, okay, it might make a little bit more sense why James, want to fall back a little bit, but it ain't like that now. Love Tyrese, but he ain't Kyrie. Love Embiid, but he ain't Kevin Durant. So that's the only reason why I would say. And also, history has proven the fact that in order to win championships, you need superstars to perform at a high level. That whole idea of depth and you need, a good bench, it's very, very true. Very, very true. But at the end of the day, your superstars need to show up. Ain't no tiptoeing around that, right? Other, role players may hit clutch shots and all that. But at the end of the day, you need your best players to be performing the way they should be. So that's why I would say that. And also, too, it's James Harden. I'm not asking him to do anything that I feel like he isn't capable of doing. Yeah. This isn't even like a rise to the occasion because you've been playing like ass. This still James Harden. We got him, or you have him, in your top 5, top 3 shooting guards in the league. Yeah, so it ain't nothing that's crazy. So just get it done. That's all it is.
No, I'm not mad at it. I just had to ask because I just felt like, because I remember those talks. Like, he's playing the third option role. He's averaging 22, 23, and 10. It's just like MVP candidate, and Kevin Durant got hurt, and Kyrie got hurt, and he was still carrying the load and stuff like that. So I'm not really mad at it. And one of the reasons why he left, though, because he wanted to leave Kevin Durant and Kyrie because he was just like, he signed up for something, a situation where, like, not Houston. And then it was kind of like when those guys were hurt and Kyrie not playing, that's kind of like what was going on with the Brooklyn Nets. So I don't necessarily know if like James himself feels like, yo, that version that I was is gonna return himself. Like it's gonna be interesting to see, because I don't know. I think a 22 to 25 point per game, if he's averaging, running the show and controlling and dictating the pace, and he's averaging, anywhere between 9 to 12 assists per game. I mean, I feel like I don't know how much more you can ask for him in order to win a championship at this point in his career.
Yeah, well, I mean, those are good numbers still. Like, even if the bare minimum on what you just said, if he averages 22 and 9, that's still, especially if McBee continues to play his style of play, that's still like good numbers. But I think, again, if we're talking about them winning a championship, not just him playing well, not just them getting a 1 or 2 seed, if they are going to beat Giannis and the Bucks, if they are going to beat Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving and Ben Simmons,
Steve Nash was a 17 and 10 guy that won back-to-back MVPs, but he had his team in the playoffs where he was running the show and dictating pace and creating opportunities for others, and he was still a valuable option for with Sean Marion, Joe Johnson, Amari Stoudemire, and they were, one series away, one bad call probably away from the NBA Finals. So it's just like, I don't know. I think it's possible that with James Harden playing this role, the role that we're kind of talking about, I think he can go to the finals. I think he can win a championship in that type of role.
I mean, put it like this: I'd want to see more T-Mac and less Steve Nash to provide a little bit more context. More put the ball in the hoop. And again, like I said, to your point,
it just depends. It just depends
but even
what
with
team you have, depends on the players and stuff like that. Just depends.
Yeah, I mean, shout out to Amari, but I mean, he wasn't on the low block as much as Embiid, right? So they're picking pops, they're running up the floor. Again, different teams. But I hear you though. Look, anytime your best player is a facilitator, like, it's tough to win a championship. That's my point, right? Like, literally, unless your name is LeBron James, and even him, like, it wasn't just he was out here averaging 9, 10 assists. He was putting the ball in the hoop.
Yeah,
and so obviously you have Embiid, but
I'm not saying 17 and 10 like now. I'm just saying, like, I think 22 to 25, and then having, like you said, big games, 30-point games here and there when it matters the most, making timely clutch baskets. I think James Harden can do that. I don't think he has to be 30 and 10. I really don't. I don't think we're going to get that. I think 22 to 25 and between 9 and 12 is a successful chance of winning a championship.
Hope so.
Look at some of the other second options. So a lot of second options ain't really doing that. Chris Middleton was 22 points per game, like, amazing defense, two-way player, 7, 8 rebounds, 3, 4 assists. So I'm just saying, like, if he's playing a second option role, like, we really should be looking at, I know we're talking about shooting guards, but the player we should be looking at is Joel Embiid. That's the player we really should be looking at the most.
We'll save that conversation for the season.
Yeah, we'll save it.
Who do you have at number 4? I know you had James at 3.
Number 4. Future best player in the league, Anthony Edwards.
There you go. All right.
Anthony Edwards, number 4. I was struggling with putting Anthony Edwards. By the end of this season, he may be number 1. Like, for real, that's how talented this brother is. Arguably, like, 3-level scorer, athletic, can defend. Like, by the end of the season, he may be number 1. Yeah, I said it. Ain't no shame in my game. Ain't no shame in my game. He can do everything. He can do everything these guys do, except for, like, the facilitating part. But, like, two-way ability, capability, score at every level, and athletic, and can handle. This brother is different. This brother is different.
I love Anthony Edwards.
He's different.
It is impossible.
He's different.
But you know what? We talked a little bit about coaching. It's on the Timberwolves, right? You talked about James Harden and saying, like, okay, it's on Embiid. With Anthony Edwards, it's on the Timberwolves. It is time that you all just, and again, he ain't been there that long, but just like, accept the fact that it's going to have to be him. Right, he's going to have to be the guy. He's going to have to be the number 1 option. Yeah. Sorry. Well, yeah, I know that, but I'm saying they have to. Yeah. They have to make it clear. Again, love Cat. I think they could be, a great trio, right? Cat, Ant, and D'Lo.
Oh, I thought Yeah,
relax.
No, who?
I said trio. Relax with D-Lo, guys. Everyone settle down. D'Angelo Russell, nobody else. But yeah, look, love Anthony Edwards. I just think this is one of those situations where one season won't push me in one season won't make me say that he's better than Devin Booker. Like, it would have to be a combination of Anthony Edwards playing crazy and at the same time Devin Booker straight up folding. If that happens, hey.
I don't know about all that, because one season of Trae Young and the Atlanta Hawks not living up to expectation after the Eastern Conference Finals had you.
What did Luka? Not
even a top five. Not even top five. You had Ja Morant over him. So I don't know about that.
But
argument.
what did Luka do that year? He didn't make it to the Western Conference Finals. That's why I said it would have to be a combination of the two. That's all it is.
I was more so talking about Ja Morant, but I hear you. I respect it.
Oh, okay. Well, even that year they made it. I mean, it wasn't. Either way, I'm not mad at the Anthony Edwards pick. I would just need to see. I just can't get excited over, at least make it to the conference finals. Then I'll say, oh shit. All right.
Yeah, I mean, it's a team game. Bradley, you say at least make it to the conference finals. Bradley ain't even sniffed the playoffs, and we both had him at number 2.
But he's done enough for me to know that, like, okay. Yeah,
if he's done enough, then we giving that, like, I'm not even gonna say he may not even be on my list, but like, if we talk about this player that's done enough, then we should start the conversation with damn near Klay Thompson. We just giving like rewards for like historically like what they've done enough with.
And no thank you trophies. No pump fakes. Ain't no
what? Well, that's what I'm saying. So
you gotta, I'm saying, you did your thing. You got some championships.
It can't be like, well, he got to go to the conference finals, and then we talking about Bradley Beal on our list as top 2, man.
I'm only saying that off this statement of you think that he could be the best shooting guard in the league. That's where I'm saying that. Not because you have him on your list. When
this
you
ain't
toss
the point guard
out
position,
best,
bro.
Correct.
This ain't the
Booker
point guard.
Ain't no scrub.
This ain't the point guard position where we looking at like Stephen Curry, Luka Doncic, Trae Young, Ja Morant. Like, oh, it's hard. It's hard. Like, I know Bradley Beal is great. I know James Harden is still great, but James Harden, we both feel like, he has a lot to prove. Redemption year coming soon, stuff like that. But he's not the Houston James Harden anymore. We know Donovan Mitchell is great, but I don't know if Donovan Mitchell is better than Anthony Edwards right now. Like, out of respect, I don't know if, and to be honest, I don't know if Devin Booker is really like a better overall basketball player than Anthony Edwards right now. I still want Devin Booker as a leading shooting guard, but like Anthony Edwards, you can make an argument right now he's the best shooting guard in the world. If we just talk about talent and skill set only. Now, we know we can't talk about that. We have to talk about the team and the winning and stuff like that. But like, from a talent and skills perspective, ain't nobody on this list that we gonna mention is colder than Anthony Edwards. So
there you go.
It's tough.
There's a social cut right now for those of y'all listening. I don't know what the timestamp is, but there it is. Is Anthony Edwards the best shooting guard in the world?
Yeah.
There you go. All right. So
for a talent skill point, yes.
Yes. So
skill set, yes.
My number 4, Jaylen Brown. A lot of Celtic fans, a lot of them, bro. A lot. Like, I think the numbers are increasing. Are starting to love Jaylen Brown more and more. I think the real Ben knew how cold he was, but I think obviously everything that went down in the playoffs and the finals and all that, his stock is rising. I'm going to go with Jaylen Brown. I like the two-way player. Hopefully he, doesn't stay in Boston for too long. But I think right now, the youth is there. Exciting player to watch. Doesn't get the credit he deserves outside of probably Boston and in certain circles because of, the overall team that he's on. But Jaylen Brown, man. Jaylen, I've been a big fan of Jaylen's, and I think the good thing about him is that he's constantly improving. Obviously, he came in drafted pretty high, but it's the idea of like, all right, year after year, you see the progression. But yeah, I'm going with JB. I'm going with JB at number 4. I think a lot of people may forget about him when we have these this ranking when it comes to shooting guard. And I did want to confirm too that he is a shooting guard. But yes, I'm going JB at 4.
I'm going to name you. I don't think JB's a shooting guard.
You a small forward?
I think it's more of a small forward. Playing a shooting guard role because they got Jason Tatum, of course. Right. But I think he's more naturally, because when his game kind of progressed, because he was very raw when he came out, he went from like a defender to a slasher to a 3-and-D to a 3-level score. Like he's really worked on his game. So shout out to him. So I'm not going to have him on my list because I feel like he's more of a naturally a 3.
That's fair. As long as flowers are given.
Yeah, as long as flowers. It's hard though because like some of these guys, like you look at the positions. Paul George is. So I'm not mad at that at all. So that's your number 4. Wow, Anthony Edwards better be in your top 5 because Anthony Edwards, Jaylen Brown, both for cold. But like,
I got a couple names I didn't say at all.
Yeah, it's a lot of names on here that say it all. Number 5 for me is Zach LaVine. Zach LaVine's talent is crazy. Pure hooper, pure scorer, super athletic, superly gifted. The Chicago Bulls gave him a max contract for a reason. It's time for him to go out and prove that he can be maybe not the first option on a championship caliber team, but maybe a strong number 2 option. I know him and DeMar, they work very, very well together. I feel like the Chicago Bulls have, some things to prove. They played the Milwaukee Bucks. Nobody really expected them to beat the Milwaukee Bucks this past year, but I feel like they can be a sleeper team if they have some right pieces. I think that Vucevic trade, I don't really know about that. Maybe they should try to think about packaging him soon.
That's tough.
And try to get, somebody else in there probably. But they got some tools. I hope Lonzo Ball gets right and gets healthy. I think he's the X factor for that team. And yeah, I'm not mad. Zach LaVine is at number 5. He's too talented, too gifted not to be in my top 5.
All right, so I got one spot left.
Better be Anthony Edwards.
Got a couple options. I'm gonna go James Harden.
Oh, he didn't even mention James Harden. That's crazy.
I'm gonna go James Harden.
This guy's insane.
This guy's insane.
This guy's insane.
Prove me wrong. How about that, James? Prove me wrong. I'm still on the James Harden, belief that he can still be the best. You want to talk about Anthony Edwards being the best shooting guard in the league? Who knows? Maybe James Harden can come out and remind folks that he is the best shooting guard.
Fine.
You know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, I got James at 5. And he would be higher, obviously, but this past season. But I got James at 5. It's at number 4, I got someone who we could debate. Probably should be in the small forward. At number 5, I got someone that some people feel like he should probably be in the top 2. Some people may feel like he should not be on here.
If he, nobody feels like James Harden's not a top 5 point guard in the world.
Shooting guard, absolutely.
Shooting guard.
There would be some people that feel like, to your point, Anthony Edwards should be there or Zach LaVine. Absolutely. Absolutely.
James Harden?
Over James Harden? Absolutely.
No.
There will be some people. Yeah, man.
They're not right in the head. They're not right in the head if you think that after one season and what James does, passing and scoring, like, come on now. Like, and running a show. Let's be real. Let's not get too crazy. I know one bad season. That's some players' best season.
Best season.
A lot of players' best seasons in the NBA. Let's pump the brakes. But let's say this is if Jaylen Brown is not, let's say just for the sake of this argument, if you want to like an honorable mention, since we kind of feel like he's a tweener or whatever. Who would another player would be in your top 5 if we're taking out Jaylen Brown if he's like a 3? He's
it'll
a 3
be
for me.
Right, it'll be Anthony Edwards or Zach LaVine.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, there's no after that.
There's some guys we ain't talk about. It's
some guys. Yeah, no shade to them, but I mean, like,
yeah.
The 7 we just named, they're not cracking in the top 5, or even to me, not up for debate.
Okay, guys, we missed. Desmond Bane, not. Jordan Poole's not.
Colin Sexton, Klay Thompson.
It's
Tyrese
Klay Thompson.
Maxey.
That's one. Klay Thompson and CJ McCollum. Those 2 names right there.
Well, what about?
Do you feel like?
What about him? Why are you laughing? What about him?
Don't do CJ like that.
I asked what about him?
It's people that's gonna feel like Klay Thompson should be in the top 5.
That's what's up. Those people probably live in the Bay. And that's not a knock. See, okay, again, let me be very clear because I know how people get their feelings about this shit. This is not a knock to Klay, nor is it knock to CJ. And we do this all the time on these shows and these rankings.
Yeah.
Only 5 people can be a part of a top 5. That's
fine,
it.
Yeah.
That's just simple math. Simple math. And this isn't a knock to you, but like I said, those 7 guys, I feel like, all right, again, you got Ant and Zach in your top 5. That's up for debate. But again, if I don't feel that CJ or Klay or anyone else is in the same tier as him, that's not a knock. That's just not everybody can be, invited to the party. That's what makes these rankings so specific. Just 5. But yeah, that's all right. So say your 5 again. Say your what's your top 5 shooting guards heading into 2023?
Top 5 shooting guards heading into the 22-23 NBA season. Got number 1, Devin Booker. We got number 2. Hey, who was my number 2?
Bill.
Bradley Beal. Number 3, I had James Harden. Number 4, Anthony Edwards. Number 5, Zach LaVine. I'm solid with my 5.
There you go. That's a good 5.
Great 5.
Great 5. Okay, shut it up.
The 5.
All right.
I mean, I can't. Ooh, you are right. You are right. Because damn, I don't have Mitchell. Like you definitely right. It's tough.
Come on.
It's
wait.
I didn't have Mitchell.
What the?
I didn't have Donovan Mitchell.
Man, I don't want to hear shit, man. About my list. Come on. I
didn't have Donovan Mitchell.
That's tough.
I didn't have Donovan Mitchell. I had Bradley Beal. I had, we had Devin Booker. I had James Harden. I had Zach LaVine, and I had Anthony Edwards. I kind of forgot about Donovan Mitchell over Zach LaVine, but Donovan Mitchell would be in my 5 over Zach LaVine. I'm a switcher. I forgot. Okay, I totally forgot about Mitchell.
All right, so say your 5 again.
My 5 is in. Love you, Zach LaVine, but it's tough. Donovan Mitchell's done in the playoffs. I'm sorry. My top 5 shooting guards heading into the 22-23 NBA season. We got number 1, Devin Booker. Number 2, Bradley Beal. Number 3, James Harden. Number 4, Anthony Edwards. Number 5, Donovan Mitchell. And Anthony Edwards at the end of the 22-23 NBA season would be the best shooting guard in the world. That's how I'm seeing it.
Bam. Mic drop. All right. That's good. I'm glad you add my man Spider to that list. Shout out to Cleveland. All right, here we go. Let's party. My top 5 shooting guards heading into 2023. Number 1, we got Devin Booker. Number 2, we got Bradley Beal. Number 3, we have Donovan Mitchell. Number 4, we have, who do I have at number 4?
Jaylen Brown.
J mother effing B. All right, start over. My top 5 shooting guards heading into 2023. Number 1, we got Devin Booker. Number 2, we got Bradley Beal. Number 3, we got Donovan Mitchell. Number 4, we got JB. We got Jaylen Brown. And last but not least, at number 5, I got James Harden. Those are my top 5 shooting guards. There you go. That's a good list. Those good lists.
That's not a bad list. Let me ask you a question before we get up out of here. Is Klay Thompson a top 10 shooting guard in the world?
In the world? Okay, so after the 7 we just named, you got CJ. You named someone else other than CJ. I forgot who it was.
CJ,
Klay Thompson.
It was Klay Thompson.
Jordan Poole. So CJ, Jordan Poole.
Desmond Bane, Jordan Poole.
I would still put Klay over Desmond. I mean,
okay.
I think where it gets tough is would you. Oh, damn. I was going to say Tyrese.
Well, yeah.
I mean, it's tough. That 10 spot maybe is very tough. Tyler, Tyrese, Klay. Yeah, it's tough.
Yeah.
Shout out to Kentucky boys, but love you, Klay, though. Hey, even if Klay, even if he's not in the top 10, you have 4 rings. The majority of the guys on this list don't have 1. As a matter of fact, let's back up. I don't think any of them have 1.
No.
Yeah, live your life, Klay. It doesn't matter.
He almost got more rings.
You about to have a handful of the rings, yeah. So you good.
Almost got more rings than our top 5.
You might not be top 5, but you got damn near 5 rings. So you Gucci. Yeah. Make sure you subscribe to No Pump Fakes. All right, on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, as well as Spotify. All right, subscribe to No Pump Fakes on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, as well as Spotify. And just like that, y'all, we gone. Peace.